We have a hurricane that's going to be impacting the United States very soon, a major one in fact. We have severe weather today, Friday, and possibly on Saturday. And we're also going to dive into what the rainfall to expect. My name is Colin Holdsworth, and this is Mesocapt Weather Association. So as we can see here, we have a tropical storm Erin right here in the ocean. It's brewing up like a hot cup of coffee right now, taking that warm ocean air. And what it's going to be doing is it's going to be strengthening until at least a Category 3 as it approaches the United States. Now, we are not 100% certain exactly where it is going to go, but we do have a good idea, and we cannot rule out that it will or will not make landfall in the U.S. The models over the past few days have been jumping around, seeing if it's going to be impacting the U.S. or not. Regardless, we do know that at the very least there will be rip currents, maybe even a little storm surge along the East Coast. So if anyone's along the East Coast, we got to be taking very close attention to this. Let's dive into the forecast. So right here we have the GEFS ensemble. So this is basically taking a bunch of computer simulations of what might happen together all on one screen for us so we can dig in and see what might happen. So as we go through here, we can see there's our hurricane right there. I'm going to pay attention to ensemble number 2. So we have this hurricane right there. This does not show it as strong as some of these other ones, so take that as a grain of salt. So every model is looking at it differently, and by compiling all the models together, we can get a good idea of what the average is across that. So as we can see this, some of the models are showing it hitting Florida, some of it has it far away out from sea, and most of the models have it riding along the coast, not directly impacting the coast, but causing some disturbances like rip currents and storm surge. If we go look at the mean winds, which basically compiles all the winds together to look at the mean, we can see that if you put it all together, we have a hurricane that goes like this. So it goes close to the US. So there's definitely, I'm thinking, there's about a 60% chance that this steers close to the US and provides storm surge along the East Coast before it goes out to sea. But there's also, I'm thinking about a 30% chance that this does get really close to the US, maybe even hit the US directly, and then a 10% chance that it stays far away from the US and completely does not impact the US whatsoever. So if you live anywhere along the East Coast, please be very cautious. Anywhere down from Florida all the way up to Nova Scotia, Maine, that area needs to be taking a very close eye out on this. So stay informed and subscribe for more information like this. Now let's talk about our severe weather over the next few days. So today we have a slight risk of severe weather centered over Minnesota and North Dakota. And we're going to take a look at what the models show in just a second, but they have outlined a 2% tornado risk, 15% wind risk, and a 15% hatched hail risk. And this hatched basically means that there's going to be very large hail possible through these storms. So let's go take a quick look at what the models are showing today. So here we have the HRRR model. This is one of the most accurate models that I like to use for this same day forecasting. Is it when we're on the 20 Zulu run right now. So it's showing in about 2 to 5 hours from this, so around 7 o'clock, 7 o'clock, we'll have some supercells firing along the North Dakota Minnesota border, and then there's a line down in Canada which won't affect the United States personally, and it will produce maybe a couple brief spin up tornadoes in the area, and then go away. And then it's also showing by tomorrow or through the night there also might be a little scattered, isolated thunderstorms right over here. Can't rule that out. So if you live anywhere over here, just be weather aware. Make sure that you have ways to receive warnings. If we look at a different model, the NOM 3-kilometer model, what it's showing is it's showing more of a line of storms. So it's showing about the same thing, a line of storms and a couple supercells, maybe producing a couple brief tornadoes, some hail, some wind, and then it'll congeal into a line of severe thunderstorms producing brief spin-up tornadoes, wind, hail, as it moves off towards central Minnesota and just falls apart and just becomes mostly a rain threat. Tomorrow on Friday, we have a slight risk of severe weather centered over central Wisconsin, going a little bit into Minnesota there. We can definitely see this evolve tomorrow. They have issued a 2% tornado risk. I've been forecasting this the past 2 days on my own, and I was thinking that there definitely would be a tornado risk involved with this. So we can see the SPC agrees. Then there's also 15% wind and 15% hail threat in that same area. So we'll take a look at the models in just a second. So this is our marginal threat. So anywhere around here is where the SPC is forecasting any type of possible isolated severe weather. And then it's really focusing on the slight risk for compiled region of where more of those severe storms, possibly supercells or a line of storms, might be. So let's see what the models are saying about this. First, let's start with the HRRR model. So this one, I'm at the very end of the model, which is 48 hours out. It's not very accurate towards the end, but what it's saying is right in this area, close to where that slight risk is, that's where a line of supercells will develop and possibly produce some tornadoes. We can see those strong updrafts right there. If we go look at our thermodynamics, like our shear and our CAPE values, this is our CAPE. Basically, CAPE is the amount of energy there is in the atmosphere. So we can see it eats all the CAPE up here. That's why we don't see it there. But yeah, 3,000 to 4,000 joules per kilogram. That's more than enough CAPE to produce large tornadoes, wind, hail. Not saying that's going to happen, just saying there's enough energy in the atmosphere for it to occur. If we look at our hail swath, it's showing these storms produce up to 2-inch hails. And this is our significant tornado parameter. Right now, it's really not showing a whole lot, thankfully, for tornadoes. Let's go look at another model. Basically, throughout the day, it's showing severe storms in this area. Maybe a few brief spin-up tornadoes every once in a while, an isolated brief spin-up tornado, hail and wind through just thunderstorms anywhere in this area. And then as it moves its way close toward the Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin border, it's really showing that storms getting more significant. So you can see here a bunch of cluster of supercells right here that could produce brief spin-up tornadoes, and then it move its way down to this area. So the occurrence of where these storms are going to go between the NOM 3 kilometer and the HRRR computer simulation models, where the storms are going to be happening are very consistent. So we know exactly where storms are going to happen, but we don't know exactly what the storms will do. For this one, as it goes out, it fans out into a line. The NOM 3 kilometer likes to do that a lot. And the HRRR looks like it's just going to be a line going this way. So we know that in this region is going to see probably the most significant storms. So if you live in here, kind of where they have that slight risk, right in there, that's where you got to be really paying attention for those severe storms, for those spin-up tornadoes, hail, and wind. Now, for Saturday and the next few days, let's go look at our 500 millibar, which is up in the atmosphere, what that's going to do, and that'll show us where we could see some other storms throughout the next week. So this is our 500 millibar up in the atmosphere chart. This is what I like to use. This is the ECMWF computer simulation model. And right now what's driving this threat is this right here. As we can see, we have a nice area of injection, which is going to create that spin, CAPE, and all those values. They're going to be in place. And that's really going to be the lifting mechanism to get these storms off and started. And that's where it's going to go. As we can see, there's our Hurricane Erin right there. So as we can see here, this is our trough, which is producing our storms today right over here. And as it's moving on out, we could see isolated areas of severe weather in this area, like a couple marginal, maybe a couple slight risk over in this area through little injections and short waves, and that's going to be about it. And then we have this other trough right here coming along here, and could produce in this area. Now this is a little far out. This is towards the end of August, but so you can see here in between that we have a gigantic area of high pressure, and this very big area of high pressure is definitely going to heat up the earth just a little bit, so it might get a little warm again. And then as soon as this comes into the United States, we can see that We have a nice ridge building. If we go look at our GEFS, it's also showing basically the same type of pattern. So this is our ensemble. It's taking all those different computer simulations, pulling it together and getting the average out of them. And as we can see, that's also doing the same exact thing here. So we definitely have a big area of high pressure around this area, which will lead to not very many storms. So after a few days, we could probably see a nice relaxing few days with no severe weather for America. So thank you for watching this YouTube video. If you have a specific area you'd like me to cover, down in the comment section below, type in your area and I'll do a brief little forecast just for you. Please like, subscribe, and help boost Mesocapt Weather Association so more people can receive these amazing weather forecasts. Hope you have a great rest of your day.